What's going on, guys? My name is Ezel, and this is my wife.
Yelsa.
And welcome to our reaction channel, the Ezels React. That's my superhero thing, right?
Oh my god.
All right, cool. If you have been living under a rock, let me tell you, there is a show on Amazon Prime. It is called Invincible. Okay. Now, for me, growing up, born in the 80s, growing up in the 90s, Invincible, as far as the cartoon style, it reminds me personally of like the old Superman show, and as far as the art style, and even reminds me, I think later in the late 90s, early 2000s, Beyond Batman. I remember it was really cool. As far as the art style, okay,
I would agree, but I would also say it's a mix of that and a little bit of a different art style because they added the 3D.
Right. But don't let that deter you from watching this incredibly written show. Do not let that deter you. I don't care if you don't watch cartoons, if you don't watch anime, you better watch this. Just watch it, okay? It first off, the things that we like about it. What did you like about it?
Okay, well, first of all, I like the whole storyline.
Oh, pause. We're gonna spoil some things, okay? So if you have not watched episode 1 through 8, or season 1, you better stop right now because we're about to spoil it. All right, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I like the whole storyline. I like how it was written, and I like how it wasn't written with the idea or with the intent that only children would be watching this. I mean, it was written.
You mean it was written for an adult?
Yes.
You like the fact that it was written for an adult?
Yes.
Easy way to say it.
Okay. I'm just being real because most cartoons aren't. I mean, there are adult cartoons, but then, they usually tend to be a certain way. But this one is much more of an adult cartoon, and the things that they talk about in it is like more adult content. So I really like that. And I'm sorry, you kind of made me lose my train of thought, but
I'm sorry. I'm excited about this show, guys. I really am.
What I was trying to talk about was the dynamics and the interaction of the characters, and it was something else. I can't think of it right now, guys, but I like that. I like the animation style. I just thought it was really good.
I will say,
and even if they make adult cartoons, right? Even like overseas in Japan and stuff, we've seen it before. But even still, they'll add certain things in there that kind of has some cheesy underline.
You talking about an anime?
No, it could be for both. Like, it's like something about it doesn't.
I know what you're talking about. You're watching a cartoon. You're a grown behind man, and you're like, I'm watching a cartoon, and it's okay. And then something cheesy will happen, and you'll be like reminded that this is a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's right. I am 30-something years old watching this cartoon. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen in this series. Yes, you're absolutely right. Good point. There wasn't a point that happened where I felt embarrassed because maybe my parents were over and they walked in and some cliche cartoon, I don't know, like okay, I'm gonna do a voice here, don't be surprised. Oh, Myro, oh, you slipped on a banana peel. It's just something, it's none of that, okay? By the way, I do voiceover work with my wife. She's a talented dope cartoonist, so check out her stuff on her channel, YouTube channel. Anyway, so there's none of that, right? The backstory on Mark and the backstory that is revealed at the end with Omni-Man, right? Mark's father. I was wondering how they were going to explain on episode 1 how he kills everybody, okay? I was trying to figure out, how do you explain this? Like, that was going over my head. And whoever wrote this knew to hold it to the end. It was very smart. Because if they explained it early, I might have been like, But because they dragged it out, it's like, why is he killing these people? Why is he killing other superheroes?
I think that's also what made it a good show, because in the beginning, it's portraying him to be like this hero in the very first half of the first episode.
They're showing him saving people, maybe, or they're showing him being like the iconic Superman type of superhero. I thought it was funny that he wasn't a part of the Global Alliance. What was it? Global Alliance of Superheroes. But at the end, when it's revealed that he comes from this planet and all this, I'm like, okay, I'm listening. And then it's like, there's this culture of weeding out the weak. And then as a unit, as a society, together collectively, they move forward with only the strongest. So then they send those people out to take over planets. I saw a little bit of Dragon Ball Z in there. I did. But then it was still unique enough to be like, okay, nah, this is something different. This is completely different. Because when you start talking about the different planets, and I mean, you could say Star Wars too. That type of story has been done several times, but this is a new spin on it because I've never seen a show where the superhero
is portrayed as the protagonist.
Right. As the person
as the antagonist.
Antagonist.
I meant to say antagonist.
I would have caught you in a minute. So yeah. Now personally, our backgrounds are I'm a filmmaker. Like I said, she's a cartoonist. So story writing is very important. When we watch movies and films, we critique them in a very different way. Nothing felt forced. Like we watched Fast and the Furious, and the reason why Paul Walker's character needed to go with his brothers and go save the day, I think it was the last Paul Walker film, Paul Walker one. It didn't make any sense, and we argued that, well, shoot, the wife, the girlfriend, the baby mama, she's trying to get this dude killed. Like, because why would you do it? You're expecting the son. So it didn't make any sense. So when you see this, everything, I was wondering, are they going to screw this up? Are they going to make some dumb reason why Omni-Man is doing this? It better make sense, because this makes no sense. He's killing people. And the last episode, that talk that he has, you begin to realize this is just his culture. And then the other fact, they live thousands of years. And the older they get, I was like, oh, because it's like the Saiyan thing with Dragon Ball Z, right? Where the Saiyans age slower. And so they're able to fight longer. They're a warrior race, right? And every time they get beat, to an inch of their life, their power doubles, right? So when they heal. So just things like that, it adds to the story and it makes you fall in love with the character even more in the storyline, and it hooks you. It sinks its teeth into you, right? Now I know you guys are probably wondering. Go ahead.
I was going to say the interesting thing is that towards the end, when the father, the antagonist, is telling all this background history about his people, which was the Vulture, right? Was that what it was?
Something with a V. I don't want to get
or something like that. But
give me the line. Yeah.
I still can't get over the fact that, first of all, he was describing the humans as like a subculture, like they're just like primitive, basically. And then the fact that he referred to his wife as a pet, he was like, "Oh, son, I see your mom as a pet." I'll never that part. If it was said in real life,
it was jacked up, but your mouth dropped open when he said that. I was just like this, like, your mouth dropped open, so I know it hit you harder than it. I was like, dang, that's messed up, homie. You were like, oh my god, like I was just like, yeah, that's jacked up.
Oh, and shout out to Sandra Oh.
Well, that's the part I was getting ready to get to. Okay. Was the characters. That's the other thing. They got Steven. I think his last name is Yoon. I think is how you pronounce it. Steven Yeun, I think. Sandra Oh is the mother. Steven Yeun is Mark Grayson, which is Invincible, the superhero. J.K. Simmons, I know this voice from somewhere else. I looked at his background and I didn't recognize any. I didn't watch any of the movies. Apparently, I know it's something I've seen with him in it. But then you got, how do you say her name?
I thought it was Zazie Beetz.
Zazie, if you watch it, don't get mad at us. It's either Zazie or Zazie. But we've watched movies with you in it, including
And we've watched
Atlanta,
series.
right?
Yeah,
She's
that's
in Atlanta.
Series, yeah.
Very good show, by the way. Gray Griffin, Kevin Michael Richardson. He plays the Mahler twins. I recognize his voice. I think what it is some of these people that's in this are in other cartoons and shows and animes that I've watched. Because I've recognized their voices. I'm like, I know this voice.
Movies, so that's why you've
Not all of them. That's what I'm saying. Not all of them have. Some of these people are straight from, I would say, other cartoon shows, specifically voice acting. But they do have a lot of actors and actresses in this. They even have which I thought was cool. Nice little Easter egg. Mr. Winslow from Family Matters.
Yeah.
If you're old enough to remember Family Matters, Steve Urkel would come over and annoy their family. Very great show. So that was a nice
was Principal Winslow.
And they let it was. I like that. It was dope. But I'm sure you guys are wondering what is the problem the only thing that we had an issue with, right? And I wouldn't say it's necessarily an issue because it was actually written into the comic books, as my wife stated after she did some research. It's actually that storyline. They actually changed the race of this character, and I think it's the black chick, right?
Yeah,
the black.
But she wasn't. Yes, it was her.
I don't know which one. The one that played
Amber. The girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah, it originally was not a black woman. In the comic book series, it's a Caucasian girl.
Correct. She was very, very forward with Invincible, with Mark. Very, very forward. And from our perspective as African Americans, I know to maybe outside our race, this may seem like nitpicking, but this is something that we actually notice. And those of us that are conscious and aware of it, when we see it, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and we're like, come on, I'm sure other races that are making these contents are feeling like, man, we just can't win for losing, right? But it was like an over-sexualization of the character Amber. She was very forward. It was almost like she was pursuing him, which she kind of was, right?
Yeah.
It was the same thing that we saw, and this happens a lot in TV shows, we've noticed, is like we were watching You, the show You on Netflix. Yeah. Great show. Spoiler alert, okay? If you have not seen You, I'm not going to explain the synopsis, what happens, but basically the main character, white guy, his next door neighbor is a sister, and
no, she wasn't.
She wasn't next door neighbor.
She was the next door neighbor's friend.
She was the next door neighbor's friend, correct? She was visiting, and I mean, I was like,
she might as well have thrown herself at him.
She was throwing the draws at him. She was throwing the draws at him, and I'm not saying that there aren't black women that are like that, because I can tell you personally, yeah, there are some. But when you portray that consistently or over and over enough times to where we begin to notice, like the last 4 or 5 shows I watched, they kind of, I'm starting to see this a lot more.
Yeah, they play into the whole aggressive, over-sexualized stereotype.
Right, and that's we try to keep this channel light.
Yeah.
We try to keep this channel really light. We talk about more serious topics like this on our podcast. But that was the only issue, because we had literally just finished, I think we were sensitive to it too, because we had literally just finished both seasons of You. And so it was fresh in our mind. And then we watched Invincible, and we were like, yo, this is a good show. Then we were like, why did they make it to where she... But then she went back and did the research and found out that this character was actually originally a white woman. So, is it really a problem or issue? They just changed it. I get it, because of inclusion. And that's another thing I applaud Invincible for, is that we do see all, a multi-ethnic groups. Multi-ethnic, we have... I'm sure
the
maybe
main character
Native American
is supposed to be, I'm assuming, half Asian.
Japanese specifically, right?
I don't know, but I just know that I thought that he was half Asian.
Yeah, I think he is. That's why Sandra Oh is playing. The mother looks to be that. And then you've got you even got the I would say the gay guy that's his friend. I thought that was dope. They're showing that. It's a good representation, generally speaking, of where we are in society right now. And maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's why we're sensitive to it. But this does cause a problem for, I would say, the bulk of other blacks, because when other races watch media like this and they see that projected as well, there becomes a what is it called? Like assumption. It becomes an assumption that black women are like this.
That's
the same way that it becomes an assumption that black men can jump faster, jump higher, run faster.
Even though we
got bigger,
and even though it's subtle, it's there. Like, I mean, how it is in the show, it seems subtle, but it's just something that you kind of see reoccurring. It's like, I mean, that was subtly put in there, but it's that's what.
Yeah, and we noticed it. We noticed it immediately, both of us, and we're like, why is she so thirsty? Like, this is, I haven't even seen that modern day, honestly, in person.
Well,
or from my home. Well, it just depends on the situation. But this was not the right context for that to happen. But other than that, the show is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's really
10 out of 10, guys. So if you have not seen it, go and watch it right now. Don't wait. Go get your popcorn. Watch all 8 episodes. You will not be sorry. It is very, very well written. But yeah, you have anything else to say?
No. I think that it's a really good show. I would give it a 9. But it's not because anything is
animation.
Not because of what we said.
Oh, okay.
Not relating to that. It's just, I don't know. I guess I just give it a 9 out of 10. But it's it's up there. It's high up there. Okay. Yes. For those who don't know, he always calls me that. He calls me like.
No. I'm not easily impressed either. They were mad at me on the other episode of our show, just like 2 videos back, because I wasn't. Because Steven Spielberg, but and Steven Spielberg is a genius, but you've got to come with it as far as creativity to get me impressed.
But you also never saw the first film, so you wouldn't understand.
Right, but they don't have the context of that, so I'm not trying to go. But anyway, guys, so if you like what we have to say, if you don't like what we have to say, let us know in the comment section below. Leave us a comment down below. And also make sure that you like this video, because we're putting out videos daily and we're growing in the algorithm. Make sure you do that. And also, if this is your first time checking this out, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. We're doing movie reviews and show review. This is actually our first time doing something like this, where we talk about the show. We're going to see how this works. If it's something that you guys like, we'll continue to do it, because once again, this is our background, writing and filming and producing. I also have a background in music, extensive background in music and music production and writing. So this is our world. We know what we're talking about. So if you're into those things, make sure you do that, and we will see you guys on the next video. Peace. Thank you.